Hi everybody, it's Minister Renata McFadden. I just want to come on and do a quick video for you guys to share a word with you that the Lord been ministering to me today about the message that God gave me. Is it's not about how you start, but it's how you finish. I've been pondering several different people in the scriptures today as I prepare to just to encourage your hearts today. I was thinking about one of the people that God began to remind me of. It was the lame man that they laid at the temple every day to beg for money. It's in the book of Acts. When they seen Peter and John coming upon him, he asked them, he was like, he looked to them and he wanted to beg for money from them. But Peter and John looked upon him and they said, "Silver and gold have I none, but such as I have I give unto thee. In the name of Jesus, rise up and walk." And they began to speak, and immediately his feet and his ankles gained strength. In the beginning of that passage, this man was lame, he was begging, he was in a low place, but God sent a word. He sent a word that caused his whole circumstance to change. And in the end, the people began to look at him and they was like, ain't that the same man that, and I'm paraphrasing here, he was like, ain't that the same man that was every day laying at the temple, that was begging, that was lame? They saw him in his latter days, but they were able to glorify, and the scriptures tell us that there was so many people that came to Christ because of what God did in that moment. He changed his whole life. He got up, he leaped, he prayed, and he followed them into the temple. And after him doing those things, the noise of what happened in his life spread abroad and people's lives were changed. I don't want you to get so caught up in the here and now and get so distracted by what you're experiencing in this season, because so many times the enemy might try to make us think that we're stuck and we're not going to ever see change. We're not going to ever receive healing. We're not going to ever receive that miracle, that sign, that wonder, that blessing, whatever it is you're standing in need of. But I came to encourage somebody who maybe just like Mephibosheth, maybe the person who was supposed to care for you hurt you. They dropped you and they left you lame. Mephibosheth's maid, and I think this is in Kings, I'm not exactly sure where all the messages are, but you can look them up in your leisure. But Mephibosheth was lame on his feet. His maid dropped him, and when she dropped him, he wasn't able to do for himself anymore, so he was in Lodabar, and God sent David had entered into a covenant with Jonathan. David had a covenant to restore anybody in Saul's family, and he remembered his covenant and he searched for anybody that was in Jonathan's lineage so he could bless them, that he could restore them, because Jonathan made that covenant and agreement with him to allow him to be king in his place. But at the end, Mephibosheth, all that his father had was restored to him, and he was sitting at the seat, the king's table. He was able to feast with the king. He was able to get raised up from Lodabar to the king's table. I don't know who may be in a depressed state, in a low place, who may be feeling like it's over for you, but that devil is a liar. And I don't want you to allow your circumstances and your situations to cause you to feel hopeless, to cause you to feel like there's nothing left for you. The word that God gave me was to remind you that it's not how you start, but it's how you finish. Rahab, in the beginning of it, I think it's Joshua chapter 6. In the beginning of that chapter, when they got ready to go in and take over the city of Jericho, Rahab, which was a harlot, she was a prostitute. Her house was on the wall of Jericho, and the men of God came in to spy out the land that God had given them. And because she chose to protect those men and she brought them into her house, she made a conscious decision, and it was a pivotal moment in her life. She decided that she was going to protect the men of God. She didn't think about what used to be. She didn't think about who the name that was attached to her from her past. She made a decision to do what was right in the sight of God, because she knew that God had given that land to those spies. So she protected them, but she entered into a covenant with them after protecting them, which caused not only her life to be spared, but the life of her family members. Some of you may be in a position to make a decision to protect your family. And you can't allow where you were, you can't allow what you did to keep you from doing what God called you to do in this hour. You have to be willing to sacrifice. You have to be willing to do things that are outside of your norm or comfort zone to be obedient to God. So it's not how you start. It's not what you did before. It's where you finish. So I don't know what gifts, I don't know what callings, I don't know what your assignment is, but I want you to know that it's not over for you. Where you are right now is not your final destination. God still has a work that he has begun in you that he's going to complete. You have to be faithful, you have to be obedient, and you have to be submissive to the will of God, because your latter days are going to be greater than your former days. I pray this word blessed you and encourage your heart like it did mine. If you need encouragement, you have a prayer request, please feel free to contact us on Loving People by Sharing Christ. You can contact us via our inbox. Just send us a message and we'll respond to you as promptly as possible. I love you guys. Again, this is Minister Renata McFadden, the co-founder of Loving People by Sharing Christ. I look forward to our next conversation. Bye.